Yo YouTube, what's going on? You already know who it is, your boy Cray, and in today's video we are discussing the 0.51 update here in Rogue Company. Now, I will be displaying everything on the screen in front of you, but I will also be reading everything through and through first and foremost, and then we can have a little discussion talking about was it necessary, was it not necessary, things of that criteria. So if you end up enjoying this video or you find this video helpful at all, do me the biggest favor, drop a like on it, comment down below, what do you think about this update in an entirety? And of course, hit that sub button for more Rogue Company content to come. So let's go ahead and jump right into things. Let's talk about the gameplay changes. First and foremost, the perks, okay? Evade will get increased movement speed bonus from 10% to now 12% and an increased duration from 7 seconds to 10 seconds. 6 Sense is now retired, of course, based on player feedback, and tracker rounds, the reveal time is increased from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. We discussed that a little bit before in the video prior. Gadgets, so grenades, the outer radius damage is reduced from 50 to 40, reduced inner explosion radius from 3 meters to 2.5 meters, reduced outer explosion radius from 4.25 meters to 4 meters flat, grenade level 1 and 2 inner explosion radius reduced from 3.25 meters to 3 meters flat, grenade level 1 and 2 outer explosion radius reduced from 4.75 meters to 4.25 meters. The Molotov grenade, Molotov spread increased from 0.5 seconds to 0.25 seconds. I can't read, forgive me. This results in the Molotov dealing damage in 0.25 seconds when first thrown. Fixed an issue where level 1 upgrade did not increase the duration and increased the area at which the Molotov spreads by 20%, so buff there. C4, the max throw distance is reduced from 17 meters to 13 meters. Level 1 upgrade throw distance is reduced from 22 meters to 16 meters. Outer radius damage reduced from 60 to 40. Inner radius reduced from 3.25 meters to 3 meters. Now, Simtex level 2. There's a reduced outer explosion radius from 4.25 meters to 4 meters there. Now, moving on, the Rogue updates. Again, I touched on these changes in the video prior, but I'll go back over them just for the sake of the update notes. Anvil, no longer immune to EMPs or slowdowns. Chalk, his ability duration is increased from 7 seconds to 15 seconds and down health increased by 50. Ronin, 6 senses removed, now has tracker rounds to replace that, and ballistic knife proximity damage reduced from 125 to 100. Vi, 6 senses removed and now has tracker rounds to replace. Talon, 6 sense is removed and has tracker rounds to be replaced as well, and also fix an issue where sprint will lock the player out longer than intended. Glitch, 6 sense is gone as well and has headstrong to replace that. Now, let's talk about the weapon changes, primarily to submachine guns. Okay, so Chalk submachine gun, the D40C, range is increased from 11 meters to 12.5 meters, increased ADS movement speed as well. The SLC, which Ronin and Scorch share, range increased from 9.5 meters to 11.5 meters and increased ADS movement speed. The 24S, which belongs to Lancer, the range increased from 10.5 meters to 12.5 meters and ADS movement speed has been increased as well. The LMPX, which belongs to Glitch and Talon, range is increased from 12.5 meters to 13 meters, and ADS movement speed has been increased as well. And then Objection, which belongs to Dahlia, the range has been increased from 9.5 meters to 10 meters, and ADS movement speed has been increased as well. Now, the A3 Salvo, which belongs to Scorch, that is her default pistol. The fall-off damage range 1 headshot damage is increased from 51 to 52, and body damage is increased from 33 to 34. Fall-off damage range 2 headshot damage is increased from 38 to 44, and body damage increased from 25 to 29. Range is overall increased from 12 meters to 13 meters and no longer has unlimited ammo, now has 126 rounds. The Executioner, which is a pistol, I can't recall who all has that, but it's a pistol, no longer has unlimited ammo, now has 84 rounds. The LW6 revolver, that's Dallas's revolver, no longer has unlimited ammo, has 42 rounds. The P12K, can't recall who that belongs to off the top of my head, but no longer has unlimited ammo, now has 49 rounds, and the Spitfire no longer has unlimited ammo, now has 105 rounds. And again, those are just all the primary pistols to start with. Now, all that information out the way, let's discuss a little bit, and I'm going to start from the top. The perk changes, okay? Evade getting that movement speed bonus, I feel like that was a bit necessary, you know. Evade kind of felt a little bit empty, you know, after you purchased it. Didn't really notice quite a big change in movement speed and duration. So hopefully this gives you a little bit more of that. I will call it, for all my Apex Legends listeners, more of that Bangalore effect. Hopefully we get a little bit more of that. Okay, 6 cents retired. Already discussed how we feel about that. Pretty indifferent on it from my own personal opinion. And the player said, let's get it out of here. So, hey, come on. You got to love a game that listens to their community. And then the tracker rounds reveal time has increased from 3 to 4 seconds. This kind of gives Dalit a silent nerf because now Dallas is not replaced by any means, but now there are some viable alternatives. You know, I can get Vide and use her tracker rounds. We can put some bullets on somebody, and that goes ahead and that highlights that person for up to 4 seconds. That can be useful in a lot of scenarios. So Dallas gets a shadow nerf, but I still see Dallas to be viable in the future. So very interested to see how they work him out in the future just to make him even more viable. Okay, grenade changes overall. I will start off by saying the grenade change, I can see why it was made. Overall, like after you get used to making these dope grenade plays, like I have it down to a T, I can see where they can begin to kind of, you know, work a little bit too well. Okay, so I can see them being nerfed slightly. I think that might help the overall flow of the game. It will make getting people that use that third person peek to come out of cover a little bit more difficult, but if you still have the ability, or you still have your grenade ability or grenade skills, whatever you want to call it, if you still have that ability, you still should be able to utilize it properly and to force people out of that third person peek and force that 1v1 gunfight, and hopefully for you, you win it from there. The Molotov spread increase, that will be nice. I kind of felt like the incendiary grenades weren't really useful unless you really caught somebody lacking. Now they'll be useful a lot more instantly or instantaneously, for lack of better terms. So I do like that change. The C4 as well, man, I can't tell you how many times out of nowhere the C4 just was thrown and I look up in the sky and that mug land on my head and kablooey. So I am happy that that throw distance does get a little bit of a nerf, and overall the outer radius damage gets a little bit of a nerf as well, and the inner radius as well, you know. So those changes I'm okay with. Simtex, the level 2, the outer explosion radius change, kind of indifferent on, you know. Again, overall, the overall premise is this is just going to slightly increase the skill gap with grenades. You know, that's just kind of how I look at it, and I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So kind of moving on, talking about the rogue changes. Again, I discussed it in a prior video talking about 6 cents being gone, giving these rogues tracker rounds, and I just mentioned it a little bit earlier. It gives a little bit of a shadow nerf to Dallas, but I still think Dallas will have some viability, so I'm not too worried about that. Talked about Ronin, talked about Anvil, talked about Chalk again, all in a video prior. I'll link it down below if you guys have not checked it out as well. Now, the topic that I want to talk about, these submachine guns, okay? This is a bit of a mixed barrel. Now, my SMG mains are rejoicing right now because they have more range. They feel like they're more viable at range now. Again, not really a big difference, just a couple meters in change, but I think those meters can make and break some stuff. Now, I know ARs right now are extremely powerful, especially if you line up those crit shots. I am well aware of that. But SMGs are in a place right now that are pretty good. They are pretty good. Well, now I will say I'll be very interested to see how SMGs play moving forward, because the update is live now, right? The update is completely live. So we'll see if SMGs just totally take over the meta. If this couple meter difference, change, whatever you want to call it, if that shifts the meta in any way, shape, or form. Now, I will say I've been playing a lot of Strikeout lately, so I can't really speak for Demolition or Extraction in this regard, but goodness gracious, I have a lot of close to mid-range fights, and there are a lot of them when I rock Vi, because Vi is my main. I'll be completely honest. There are a lot of fights that I end up losing, not because I did anything wrong. We've been going crit for crit, but I just got outgunned by an SMG, and Nightshade just can't handle that. So what I do is when I kill somebody, I take their SMG and I use their SMG for close range fights, and I think we'll see a lot more of that happening here in the near future. So let's just keep an eye out on how the SMGs work moving forward. I mean, this could do nothing but be good for the game, and if the people like it and if the consistency is this was needed, then so be it. You know, I have no problem with that whatsoever, but I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. let's just keep an eye on it moving forward. The change to the primary pistols. Now, this is very interesting. I did not see this coming whatsoever, but I think it makes for a little bit more strategic play. Now you can't just, especially if you're playing extraction or demolition, that pistol round now has to slowly but surely become a little bit more tactical. Now you guys aren't just emptying the clip at one another, trying and hoping you get knocks. Now you got to be a little bit more strategic. So now I would say on average, your pistol might have 3 or 4 clips in the reserve, maybe. So I'm very interested to see how that plays out. Now, you got to do a lot to go through that kind of ammo, especially in a single life round-based shooter, especially in the modes like demolition or extraction. So I'll be very interested to see if that even affects things, long term. For strikeout, again, people buy their ARs and SMGs first round typically, unless you're trying to make content or trying to be flashy. I don't know, but the vast majority of people buy their primary weapons that first round because you have an excess of cash. So I don't really see that pistol change really mixing things up too much in that regard. But what do you guys think overall? Were these changes necessary? What changes do you like? What changes do you dislike? The whole shebang. I just want to hear. I'm open for discussion. Talk to me a little bit, people. Talk to me a little bit. And with all that being said, guys, I'll go ahead and I will conclude this video, this little update. What do you guys think? Overall, you digging it? You're not digging it? Talk to me. Talk to me. It's been your boy, Cray. We are signing out. I will catch you all in the next video. Until then, we are out. Peace.